What's good, YouTube? It's Nas, and we back with another video. Road to 300 subscribers, of course. You hear the anger in my voice because I just recorded this fucking video, but just corrupted. But today's video, but you can see by the title, we're gonna be talking about Antwan Jamison. And Antwan Jamison, I feel like, has had a forgotten career. And Antwan Jamison was this versatile forward before they really been populated into the way they are now. Like, we see players like fucking Jaylen Brown, I would say. And I would say he played a lot like Jamison in my opinion, but hey man, let's just get into it. If y'all haven't watched Antwan, if y'all don't know who Antwan Jamison is, go look him up, go watch his highlights. His highlights are going to be playing right now, obviously, in the background while I make this video, but let's just get into it. In his first season, the 1999 season, Antwan Jamison averaged 9.5 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, and 0.7 assists. This being the season before he broke out, obviously, and I would say his best seasons are with the Warriors and the Wizards, because obviously that was player he spent his longest time at. In his very second season, when he came back from his rookie season, he averaged 36 minutes a game. He averaged 19.5 points per game, 8.5 rebounds, and 2 assists in the 1999-2000 season. And the very next season, he upped his production even more. In the 2000-2001 season, he averaged 25 points per game, 8.5 rebounds, and 2 assists. And when I looked this up, I don't know how he wasn't an all-star this season. I guess there was too many good players in the league at that time, because averaging 25 and 8 and not being an all-star doesn't make any sense to me, or any type of sense to me. But hey man. But in the very next season, the 2001-2002 season, he averaged 19.5 points per game, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists. And I'm noticing every time he's a starter, he's going to put up high numbers. And he was a 6th man of the year. Obviously, we're going to get to that at the end of the video. But Antwan was just this bucket as weak as I'm basically telling y'all, yeah, you don't average over 23 points per game if you're not some type of scorer or you don't know how to get to the basket. And that's what Antwan Jamison did. He was a streaky 3-point shooter. He had this mid-range ability. He could dunk. Not just dunk, he was getting bodies too. But in the 2002-2003 season, Antwan averaged 22 points per game, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists. This being his last season in Golden State, and he put up one hell of a run in Golden State, 3 seasons of at least 20 points, and he was the best player on this Warriors team. Obviously, if you're playing 41 minutes, I would assume that you are. I would have to go back and look at who was on this roster, but it looks like Antwan was, and undoubtedly so. In the next season, he went to Dallas. In the 2003-2004 season, he averaged 15 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, and 0.9 assists on 29 minutes per game. He was the 6th man behind Dirk Nowitzki, obviously the superstar at the time, and you were not going to get minutes, or you were not going to start over Dirk at this time. He was big. He was the MVP 2 seasons later, and Antwan was his bucket getter, yes, so he tried in Dallas. He played 1 season with the Dallas Mavericks, obviously, because he was going to let that derail his career. In the next season, he was on the Wizards, and he became a starter again. He averaged 19.5 points per game, 7.5 rebounds, and 2 assists. And getting back to regularly scheduled programming, I guess I would say, for Antwan. In the 2005-2006 season, he averaged 20.5 points per game, 9.5 rebounds, and 2 assists. And these were the seasons he was playing with Gilbert Arenas. It was a toss-up, in my opinion, who was the better player. But in between them, most basketball or casual fans will say Gilbert Arenas. But in my opinion, I think Antwan could have been the best player on that team. You never know. He doesn't really get the credit that he really deserves for being on that team, because every time I hear Gilbert Arenas out of his mouth, he act like he was just carrying that team and there was no talent around him. And Antwan was on that team, bro. So, hey, man. In the 2006-2007 season, he averaged 20 points per game, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists. This being another season where he's consistent, bro. You can't knock consistency. That's what I like about the NBA, or I like about basketball players. Like, if you're consistently doing what you're supposed to do, and that's what Antwan Jamison was doing. But in the next season, the 2007-2008 season, his only season averaging a double-double, he averaged 21.5 points per game, 10 rebounds, and 1.5 assists. And I didn't even talk about his rebounding, because for a forward position, not a lot of forwards like to go down there and go get a board. And Antwan Jamison was the type to go get a board. Obviously, we could see, or I've been saying, the last 5 seasons, he had including this one 10, 8, 9, 7, 6, 7. So obviously they're there. But in the 2008-2009 season, Antwan averaged 22 points per game, 9 rebounds, and 2 assists. Obviously another consistent season. The very next season, in the 2009-2010 season, he averaged 20.5 points per game, basically 9 rebounds and 1.5 assists. His last season averaging at least 20 points, and his last season in Washington. So, hey man, he put up one hell of a run in Washington too. Like I would say with the Warriors, it's up to y'all. Who do y'all? If y'all watch this video and y'all want to make a comment, which stint do y'all think is better? Now that I'm telling y'all, the Wizards stint or the Golden State Warriors stint, I would say the Wizards stint because it was longer than the Warriors stint, but he averaged his most points on the Warriors, so you can't really knock that. But in the 2009-2010 season, or no, it was the same season actually, because he was traded, my bad, in Washington and Cleveland. He averaged 16 points per game, 7.5 rebounds, and 1.5 assists. He was playing with LeBron this season, and this was the season before LeBron left, so Antwan Jamison was sent basically to try to help LeBron take some of the pressure off. Obviously, that didn't work, and they lost in the first round, I believe. So LeBron left, and the very next season, Antwan had the team to himself. He averaged 18 points per game, 7 rebounds, and 1.5 assists. Obviously, he wasn't that good where he could carry that trash-ass Cavs team. There was nothing carrying them after LeBron left. There was nothing. So that led to them getting Kyrie Irving the very next season, and he averaged 17 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, and 2 assists. And he went to LA the very next season, his second to last season. He averaged 9.5 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 0.7 assists. And the Lakers were good this season before Kobe Bryant eventually tore his Achilles. But hey man, in his last season in NBA, he averaged 4 points per game, 2.5 rebounds, and 0.3 assists. But Antwan in his career won 6th Man of the Year in 2004, All-Star in 2005 and 2008, All-Rookie Second Team in 1999. So obviously the awards are there. It's not that many, but hey man, they're there. Can't knock shit. But Antwan Jamison in his career scored 20,042 points. Not a lot of NBA greats could say they scored at least 20,000 points, and Antwan did, because I've been saying it all video. He's a bucket. But in his career, he had 8,157 rebounds, and in his career, he averaged 18.5 points, because obviously, and I've been saying it the whole video. I don't have to say it again, but let me know how you feel about Antwan Jamison. Needless to say, down below. Subscribe. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If y'all want to see some more, there's a video on the left and the video on the right. Click on them.